Alright guys, this is William with Instrument Cluster Repair. I've had these kits for sale for a while now. I just kind of want to give everybody a how-to video of how to install them and show that it's pretty easy to do. It takes just a little bit of time, but it's not bad. Just show you the contents of the kit and stuff like that. This instrument cluster is out of an 03 Chevy Silverado. It'll be the same as Tahoes and Suburbans. I've already pulled it out. I've already pulled the front face off. It was just a couple clips. But I got it down to, I'm going to show you guys how to do this. When you first get them out of the car, you're going to make sure all your needles rest all the way over to the left as far as possible. Just finding some masking tape, lay it down in front of each needle. What we're doing here is we're going to mark them so when we put it back together, we put it back in the exact spot so none of the needles are off. The tape doesn't have to be precise by any means. Alright, what I do is I just come straight out, right across from the needle, mark it. Right across from the needle. Now I like to use this tool here. It pries the needles off pretty well. A lot of guys pluck them off, but I've found there's more problems with it. Easy way to get them off is as you're prying with an upwards force, give the needle a slight twist like that as you're pulling up, and they come right off. They don't ever pull the stepper motor loose from the board or pull the needle out of the stepper motor. They just come right off. Alright, and just come through and just pop loose the case. Alright, this instrument cluster is a demo cluster that I have. It's one that I kind of a test mule, things I want to try out on and stuff. It's been apart a few times. Just pull your display, lay it off to the side. Pull this other piece of plastic off, lay it off to the side. Alright, now we're opening up the cluster. We're getting down to where we need to be. Normally when you open these up, you'll see these blue housing LED incandescent bulbs are everywhere on the board. I've already taken these off because I've used this board for other things, but I just want to show you guys an easy way to pull the LED or the bulbs off of the board without using a solder. You can just grab it on each side of it and just give it a quick snap motion like that. Every one of them, and they'll come right off. Here, every one of them do the same thing. These are actually the turn signals, and I'm going to do it again right here where you can see it real easy. Just like that. No soldering. You don't have to do nothing, and they come right off. I don't recommend removing the turn signal bulb unless you're replacing it. But we've broken it down, you know what I mean? All the spots will be where the bulbs were, is where we're going to try to get the LEDs as close as we can. Let's see here. This is the kit that I've got for sale. This is $100. It comes with everything you need to install it. The kit has general instructions on the back of it. Basically, what wire colors what goes where. This is going to be your basically the brain. The main hub. You're going to hook a positive and a negative source to it. I recommend finding a chassis ground, a good ground. And for this positive, I would find the wire that comes into the back of the instrument cluster on your main plug that you plug in it. I would find the wire that comes in that turns on your backlighting, like when you would turn on your parking lights. And that will always turn on your LEDs every time you turn on the headlight switch. There is other ways you can tap into the board and do it. I don't recommend it. I was told by other people you shouldn't do it. You should take that risk on yourself. But I would recommend tapping into the source that feeds this. Now this is an infrared sensor. Whenever we hide this box back in the dash with this cluster, we're gonna hang this LED out somewhere in the dash where you know, you're only gonna nub it out just a little bit, just enough for your remote to be able to make a straight view of it. You know, it has to be seen. It comes with you know, LEDs pre-wired. All the connectors are there. It comes with extra cable, so when you got to connect them all together, basically a daisy chain, I would call it. See, it's all pretty simple. The plugs only plug in one way. These are distribution boxes. Basically, like you're gonna feed in on your cable, and each one of these is gonna go out to an LED. You know, a quick demonstration here. You know, see how it plugged right in? Goes straight to the LED. What we would do from the cable, that would be from your source box, your main brain box, to it. That's what one of these jumper cables is for. It comes with you know, all 3M stickies ready to be used. All right, here. Like I said, you want to make sure that you get your LEDs somewhat close to where they were. If you can get them back exactly where they were, that's great. That means you're more apt to get a better light pattern. Because sometimes when you put it back together, you'll have like what's called a hot spot. This would be real bright and this would be dim. Basically, you'd be taking this LED and you'd move it around in here until you got the best light quality, until they're all even. You know, you got a nice even pattern coming across it. What I like to do is snap this back on. You might take it loose 2 or 3 more times. It just depends on how you do it. And I like to fish the wires around and, you know, just get them out of the way. Make sure they're not touching anything. I'll have to go through and put these 3M stickies on. Now these other ones, I like to use them if, I know Toyotas or Jeeps, if you have to come from the other side, just stick the donut basically around it, peel the sticky, and then you're gonna stick it to the back side of the board so it shines through. So you can actually stick it, you know, on either side of the board that you would need to. And you just take it, now that you know it's sticky, just stick it to the board where you would want it, and that will let's see, I'm gonna stick it like this, see, straight down onto the board. And then I know my distribution box probably gonna be somewhere in here, so I kind of want to focus my wires in that direction. Look at that. See, they stick on there pretty good. Those 3M stickies are really nice. You know, every cluster is different. You know, you just kind of have to take your time and position them to where you want them. You know, how you want the light to shine. Now, these kits are not restricted to instrument clusters only. You could, you know, if you could take the time and figure it out, you could put them in a HVAC control head. If you could figure out how to fit that inside of a headlight switch, I mean, you could put it in a headlight switch, or maybe even say a gear selector. That would, you know, like your some of them have lights that go down through a console. You could put them in there. Anywhere you can put them. I'm gonna reposition this one. And see, whenever you want to reposition them, you can just put some under it, give it a little pry, comes right up. Just be careful with the board. There we go. You know, right now I'm trying to pick these red plastic pieces off these pieces of tape here. There's not enough room to fit this one. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to pry the plastic up a little bit, you know, just fish it in the best I can. See, everything still clicks back. It's still, you know, there. It's still tight. It's not hurting nothing. It's not obstructing it. See, these wires, you don't want them laying up across the top. You know, it's going to obstruct the light pattern. It'll give you shadows and stuff like that. So you always want to take your time and route the wires to where they're going to be, you know, out of the way. You obviously as best as you can. Let's see here. So you just always want to try to put everything in to where it's not going to obstruct the vision of that bulb. You know, you want that, or I'm sorry, the LED. You want to make sure it's got a fairly straight line of sight to make sure, you know, it can be seen without a shadow. See, as you can tell, I'm doing a jumper wire, and I'm going to feed this jumper wire this way across the board because I got to feed the other distribution block. I decided to run the main power in from the box on this side. What I'm doing now is I'm just trying to open it up so I can fish a cable under it. You know, it is a little time consuming, but the good thing of it is once you figure it out, you know what I mean, it's not that hard. And you know, there's no soldering required. You know, you just take your time and tuck your wires and your LEDs where you want them, and it works pretty well. I'm going to try to tuck this thing underneath of this rail here, this plastic rail. Be a good place for it, out of the way. You know, still be able to manipulate these wires to where we want them. One thing you can do too to you know, help hold your wires in place that, you know, it's kind of giving you a little bit of trouble is put a little hot glue on it. Don't go crazy with the hot glue, you know, just enough to hold it. See, it'll help hold it out of the way for you. Sometimes the wires are just, you know, realistically a touch too long, but it is a universal kit, so you kind of have to work with it a little bit, but it does work pretty well. I've put it in a few different cars now. Not had one that you just could not put it in yet. So that tells you, you know, it'll fit just about anything. It just takes a little bit of working with it. Remember, this is, we're feeding out of an LED and we're feeding in to the cable. And that is because it is the one that's going to be turning on all the LEDs. So we'll have to figure out in a minute where we're going to run that wire. Let's see. Again, I'm just using the hot glue just to kind of hold things, you know, to make things a little easier for maneuvering it and putting everything where I want it. I think I'm going to move this LED just a bit to make more room. tuck it up here a little closer. There we go. Opens up more room. They do come with square pad stickies for the back of these distribution blocks. I did forget to install that, but it's not a big deal. I am gonna have this this kit for sale on eBay, you know, so you guys can get it pretty easy. Use PayPal, whatever you like, in order to purchase it. Again, the kit's gonna be $100, and that'll include everything that you need, you know, besides, you know, tools, you know, obvious, but everything you'll need to install it. If you have any questions, I don't mind answering questions and helping people out. This is a do-it-yourselfer kit, you know, so there will be a little bit of a learning curve to it for some guys. You know, it's not a big deal. All right, let's see. Alright, this should light up pretty good. We can test it out and see before we ever put it in the car. Remember, this is that feed that I ran out of it. Goes straight to the brain. And look, there is more applications on each side, you know what I mean? You can plug more kits into it. You can put these lights all over the place if you want. I'm gonna plug this into my power supply. Alright, let's see. Let's start putting the thing back on. We're going to snap some needles in it and look to see we're gonna look and see how our light output is. See how it looks with everything plugged in. You know, you can always pull it back apart. As you've seen, you can just grab one of those LEDs, pop them off with a little flathead screwdriver. You know, just be careful. Don't pick the board. Don't, you know, stab the board with anything or pick anything else off. Just grab right under that little LED where that 2A tape is. Pluck them right off. As you can tell with these needles, I'm just taking it and slowly pushing it back to the mark. You can spin it around, spins pretty easy, and you'll notice it'll stop again. Like, see, I'll push it way out of the way. Look, we're gonna turn it around. See how it stops? There's resistance right there, and the dot is still here. Just slowly, just push it. Just keep pushing until you line right back up to your dot again. There you go, right on the money. You know, that's what I did there with every one of them. Alright, let's turn them on, see what it looks like here. Alright, when you get your remote, pull the plastic out of it. Alright. Let's see here. Alright, they're changing. Looks pretty good. Give me 1 second. I'm going to shut the big shop light off here. And we'll be able to check it out some more. Alright. There we go. It has different lights, or colors I should say, different patterns. And as you can tell, this one turned out really well as far as a light output. It's all, it's even. I would snap this one together and call it done. But there is different buttons you can press on the remote to change the colors. I'm going to turn the light back on. We'll kind of see what's going on here. And here's the remote. These are your flash patterns. This is a dimmer brightness. You can actually turn it on and off if you want. If like I said, you got to have the infrared facing you so it actually works here. I'm gonna make sure this infrared is pointing at the remote. Here's off, on, and then there's all the colors again. This is the basic entry-level, $100 kit. I also offer another kit you can buy. It's so you can hook up a Bluetooth controller so you can use a smartphone for it. It's not that hard to hook up. I guess if I get enough demand, I'll make a how-to video on it too. But it's relatively easy also. Alright guys, my name's William Folsom. I own Instrument Cluster Repair. If you guys have any questions, any comments, feel free to call me at any time. I'd like to do what I can to help you. Again, the link will be on eBay, and it's a $100 kit.